you're looking for fun, if you're looking for friendship, if you're looking for love and all that comes with it, just look beyond the ropes and you will see.
Welcome back to Beyond the Ropes, the podcast, episode 6. We are here today with my much older sister, Portia Hawkins. Hello, Portia. How are you today?
I'm fine, Pamela. As you can see, my sister has a little bit of a insecurity problem with her age because she has to say I am her much older sister when we're only 14 months apart. And yes, the next thing she's going to say is, I was born in the 70s, where you were born in the 60s. Ha ha. I was born in 69, therefore I am 53. She was born in 1970, right behind me, 52. Anyway,
Different
hi
decades,
everybody.
but go on.
Yes, I am Portia Hawkins, Pamela's year older sister, and we have one other sister who is 6 years younger than me, Paula.
So, I tell you all the time that you don't seem to remember anything from when we were growing up. So, I don't know how this is even going to go, but tell me about your childhood.
Oh, brother. Okay, so yes, I may not have remembered all the groovy details of our childhood,
Groovy?
but I remember enough. I know that I have you as a sister and Paula as a younger sister and two parents. It was five of us growing up in Bellwood,
Okay.
in Illinois, the western suburb, one of the western suburbs of Chicago. We had a pretty, we had a normal childhood, I guess, normal upbringing. You and I've obviously jumped double dutch when we got older. I don't even know when we started jumping double dutch. I think I might have been 8 or 9. I really can't remember. But that's what we did all day, every day during the summers after school when it was nice outside. But when school was out during the summers, that's all we did. We might have ridden a bike here and there, but double dutch was the main thing. And as you and I realized when we got much older, in our probably 30s, for some reason, Paula, as I told you before, who is 6 years younger than us, it's really weird. I still think about that all the time, that we never taught her to play double dutch. And I really feel bad that that happened. I'm not sure how that happened.
We tried to teach her.
Okay.
Paula was always interested in reading books and doing her own thing. So when we tried to teach her, she didn't catch on. And she also liked hanging out with mommy. So they used to hang out all the time.
I remember that, but she
It was
makes it sound
fun.
like we just ignored her, and it makes me feel really bad. Paula, if you're listening anywhere, it's not true. You know we
Say
love
if you're
you.
listening anywhere.
So anyway, that was our childhood. Pretty normal.
So, did you have a lot of friends when you were growing up?
So why are you sounding so formal? You're sounding like this is not my sister I'm
Because
talking to.
because the people who are listening don't know you.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Okay. All right. Excuse me. Can you repeat that question?
Really?
Yes, please.
Did you have a lot of friends growing up in Bellwood, the western suburb of Chicago, Illinois?
A lot of friends. Well, see, you and I and Paula, to me, we're a very close knit family. So it was just us three girls. We didn't have any brothers, so we stuck together pretty much. So you, of course, were kind of my best friend, I guess. You've always been by default sort of my best friend. And then I had a couple of childhood friends that I've kept in contact with over the years, like 30, 40 plus years. But I didn't have a whole bunch of friends, but I was fine with that. It was, we were really close to our family, and then we had our extended family, cousins and stuff that we saw on Sundays and stuff. And when we went to church in the city when our grandparents were living and all that. So I was cool with that.
What type of student were you?
I was a good student. I'm pretty smart, if I must say so myself. So
You
studying,
must.
so studying came pretty easy to me. I'm pretty good at taking tests, so I had pretty good grades throughout my whole school career and going into college. So
Where'd
that
you go
was
for
easy.
college?
I went to University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign, where I got a degree in actuarial science, which is basically a mathematics degree. Um, and this is so weird because you know all this, but okay, I will continue. Uh, and I, utilized that degree to go into insurance right after college. And I did insurance rate making, where I was an actuary for 10 years before I went into pharmaceutical sales, which I've been doing for the last 23 years, I believe. And as you know, I also have my real estate license.
Okay.
Okay.
So, how does double dutch fit into your life with all that you have going on?
Whew. Right now, it's starting to take over,
Uh-oh.
but in a good way. So when you first started the 40 Plus Double Dutch Club, unbeknownst to all of us, it became a whole big old thing, like literally. What are we, 48,000 strong on Facebook members? I know all those members are not necessarily active, but even out of that, I'm thinking you said about 6,500 or so have actually purchased the shirt, which makes an official 40 Plus Double Dutch Club member. But like I said, it started off with, I think, 10 people, and I was one of the original 40 Plus Double Dutch Club members. Of course, you and Katrina got it all started. And it was just us jumping rope in the parking lot of Homewood Flossmoor High School or in the parking lot of Trinity United Church of Christ across the street at the beginning. And it was just people we knew from church and from your Facebook private page. And that was it. And it was just something fun to do. And I did it maybe when I felt like it. And a lot of times I have other stuff going on and I didn't. But now it's like every single day, 40 Plus Double Dutch Club is being thought of. Something is being done. Something is being talked about. There's a Zoom call. There's a meetup. There's a special event. There's a brand ambassadors meeting. There's lots and lots and lots of stuff because it is a movement, a whole organization. And here we are. And we're just trying to keep making it better and keep reaching out to the women and all the people that 40 Plus Double Dutch Club has touched.
So, what is your role right now?
I have a lot of roles. So, one of them is an original member, as I stated, when it first started back in 2016, May of 2016. I think January of 2020, or somewhere around there, it might have been the end of 2019, I was appointed as a brand ambassador. And I know that was pretty much by default because I'm your sister.
It was definitely by default.
So, a brand ambassador, which there are basically a group of 12 brand ambassadors, including you and Katrina, and then our other 10. So that's a total of 12, of course. And we basically are all in the Chicagoland area. And basically that means we're promoting the brand of 40 Plus Double Dutch Club, being a huge help, we hope, to you and Katrina, in most cases, just trying to keep this organization afloat. Not afloat, it's doing really well, but just keep things moving smoothly. And, going to a lot of different meetups all throughout the land, literally. So that's one of my roles. And now I'm also like an ad hoc consultant as far as being a liaison between the brand ambassadors and the board of directors, because now, of course, we have a board of directors. I was a member of that too, but as a family member, we decided that it would be better if I'm a consultant just for, trying to be, completely ethical and keep everything straight, no conflicts of interest. So I'm like a financial advisor as far as just working with the brand ambassadors and the chief marketing officer and the CPA that works with us. So there's a lot of things going on. In any big event that we're doing, whether it be our leadership retreat, our annual play date events, or anything that we're doing throughout the organization, I'm pretty much involved with. I'm seeing all areas.
So, what do you think about the fact that this movement has provided a way to utilize the skills and gifts of so many of our family members?
That's a very good question, Pamela. Yes, so Paula, our younger sister, she is a bigwig. Can I say where? She's she's a senior vice president at a very large and prominent company in marketing or insights, which is marketing research. And she lends us her expertise all the time. So yes, Paula's been very instrumental. She's been a member of our board, but again, we're trying to restructure that. And so now she still works as a consultant with us as well. My mother, who is the mom of the movement, Phyllis Pelt, of course, she is an author now. She wrote the Double Dutch Diary. She'd been working on that for a couple of years. That, as you know, was just basically published and it's now out for sale and distribution. We've got Julian, your oldest son, of course, who wrote, no, or actually, can you all see this? Excuse me. Sorry. This is the 40 Plus Double Dutch Club logo, and Pammy has it on her shirt. Of course, it's on all of our stuff. And he, of course, not wrote, he designed our logo. So that's awesome. And it's been everywhere on our 40 Plus Double Dutch Club gear and paraphernalia, everything. Jordan, who is actually the one who is directing these podcasts. She's the one in charge. She is also our chief marketing officer, and that's my niece, of course, your daughter. This is so weird, me telling me who your children are, but anyway. And Jordan's been super talented with our whole website. She revamped our entire website. She gets us on social media and does all these amazing things with reels on Instagram and puts us all over the internet everywhere. So she's done a lot of things with 40 Plus Double Dutch. She's constantly doing that every day. She's highly involved with all of the inner workings of 40 Plus Double Dutch Club. And then, of course, Jalen, your youngest son, he produced, directed, and came up with the idea of doing the Beyond the Ropes, which, of course, is the name of this podcast, Beyond the Ropes documentary, which is the story of 40 Plus Double Dutch documentary style. And that is being entered in Film Fest. He's already won some awards. We've shown private screenings of it a couple of times, and it's an awesome just collaboration and story of the 40 Plus Double Dutch Club movement with a lot of the women's testimonies and some of the different events we've gone to. It's a really great, great documentary. If you haven't seen it, when it comes out, anyone who's listening, you've got to see it.
So when I initially went to Katrina with this idea, I was going through a lot at that time.
Yeah.
And I know it was hard for my family, for my friends, for everybody who I was close to at that time to really witness all of the things that were happening, in my life, like all at once. Now, you weren't experiencing any of those things firsthand in your life. So, how has this movement help you? Why is it important to you? I know why it's important to me, but why is it important to you as someone who wasn't battling depression or going through a divorce or dealing with just all of the things that some of us who are involved in this movement have had to deal with? That hasn't been your story. So why is it important to you?
Well, first and foremost, it's important to me because it was important to you. So at the time when you first started, like I said, way back when, 2016, at first I'm like, oh, Pam just needs to let off some steam. You were going through a terrible, rough time. I'm so, so, so grateful that Katrina really saw how deep your need was, because I might have been a little bit more oblivious. Excuse me. Sorry.
Because you know what you would have said.
What would I have said?
When I went to Katrina and said, I really want to start jumping double dutch and like being intentional about jumping once a week. And Katrina said, if that's what you need to do, I'm there. Mm-hmm. You would have said, well, I gotta get my hair done once a week. I can't be messing up my hair
Hey,
double dutch.
if I didn't have braids at the time, I'm sure I would have said something
not.
like
So,
that.
yes, you did.
So yeah, so that I am okay. Excuse me. So anywho, to answer your question, so yes, and as time went on, I started seeing how much this really meant to you and what the impact was to not only you and Katrina and the few other ladies that I knew personally, but all these new ladies that were just coming out of the woodwork. Like, whoa! And then once we went on Windy City Live in is that May of 2019, mm-hmm. and then Valerie. Warner and Ryan, mm-hmm. not Ryan. Mm-hmm. Okay, Ryan. They basically, asked us to put out our website, or we didn't have a website at the time. Sorry, our Facebook information, mm-hmm. and it went viral. Right. And then when I saw, I was like, "Whoa, this is serious." A lot of people are obviously, looking for something, looking mm-hmm. for an outlet, looking for new friends, just looking for a time to get away. Because the whole purpose, again, especially at the beginning, we were really, really, really touting how much this is time away from adulting for right. women who are 40 and over, women who typically are doing everything for everybody and a lot of times forgetting themselves right. in the midst and losing themselves. So, and again, I wasn't having that situation at the time. I have gone through some, trauma, of mm-hmm. course, and I have been through divorce, but mine, I was way past that at the time that you mm-hmm. were, it was just a different coping mechanism for right. me. So, yes, at first I was just doing it because, okay, Pammy wants me to go jump double dutch. Let me go jump double dutch. Let me see if it fits around my 2 jobs and all this other kind of stuff. So, I did that at first, trying to squeeze it in my schedule. Now I'm actually a whole lot more intentional. I put it on my calendar. Okay, I know I'm going to go to at least 2 meetups every week, whether it be in the Chicagoland area or somewhere out of state, depending on if I'm traveling. And it ends up usually being a lot more than that, because even if I'm not at a meetup, I'm always doing something in the background for 40 Plus Double Dutch Club. So yes, it's definitely evolved. And that's why when you asked earlier, how does it impact your life, or how does it fit into your schedule or whatever, it's like pretty much very predominant in my whole life now. So yes, it has been a complete turnaround, and it means a lot to me. So
Yes, I know that our ambassadors were talking. They said Portia gets the most improved ambassador award this year.
And Stephanie is so funny. She says
I didn't
something
say any names.
all the time. Stephanie, one of our other brand ambassadors, she is so crazy. And she's like, I'm going to give you a little gift card because you're doing so well. I'm like, thanks, Stephanie. She's an educator, so she knows people like to be recognized. So thank you. But anyway, so yeah, it's been completely different. And I love jumping double dutch, and it is a form of exercise. It's a lot of fun. And it's amazing when we get together at our different meetups, just how much fun we have. And it really is an outlet. It's a great time to just fellowship, get some jumping in, get some dancing in, get some just me time in with our fellow sisters now, with so many women that I never would have reached, touched, known, had no way of thinking that at this ripe old age of 53, or ripe, I should say ripe, not old, but ripe age.
You could say old.
I won't say old. That I'd have so many new sisters, so many new sister friends that I really feel close with. You asked earlier about how many friends do I have. I don't have a lot of friends. I have a decent number of friends, but not a lot. Now I feel like I have a whole 100 million, lot of friends. So, and really great women.
Well, that was going to be my last question. I was going to ask you to go back to my earlier question about how many friends do you have, and I was going to ask you if you feel like you have more friends now than you did when you were younger.
Absolutely. And I feel like, and even the friendships that I have now, and a lot of them, it's like sisterhood. It's more than just friendship. I feel like of the brand ambassadors, I can call any of them at any time and not feel any like, oh, I don't want to bother her. I don't want to do this. It's like we are all literally sisters. And not just the brand ambassadors, but a lot of other women in the 40 Plus Double Dutch Club movement. I could name a few in other states that I feel like, wow, I could really reach out to her. And she owns a school and, different things that people do. So, yeah, it's an amazing movement, and anyone who is a woman 40 and over, definitely, if you don't know about 40 Plus Double Dutch Club, I hope you're listening, watching, and if nothing else, go to our website, 40plusdoubledutchclub.org. Go to the Facebook page, go to the Instagram page, just check us out. Like I said earlier, Jordan, my niece, who's the one in charge and running this podcast, she's done amazing things to make us all connected. And even if you aren't ready or just want to get a little bit more information about 40 Plus Double Dutch Club, you can do that so easily. It's just something to really, really be a part of. Thank you. Was I not supposed to say thank you? Oh, excuse me.
It's more than jumping rope. It's more than just getting together and having fun. It has become not just a movement, but a sisterhood. And that is why we call it Beyond the Ropes.
Hello, podcast family for Beyond the Ropes. I need to make a correction. I mentioned a few times that my niece Jordan was the person directing and handling the whole podcast. She is helping, but actually Jamal Williams, who is right in front of me and is the one who's actually filming, is the person who's doing the podcast. So I apologize for misquoting or whatever I said. So Jamal Williams, thank you for all that you do and for helping us with the Beyond the Ropes podcast. We appreciate you.
If you're looking for fun, if you're looking for friendship, if you're looking for love